Uh, it's a it's a different experience for sure. It's a very cool experience. It's always going to be pretty chilly and going to be loud, hard to hear. So we really have to emphasize like crowd noise in practice this week and good communication, echoing calls down the line. Uh, I think the thing that stands out for me, my first game there is the benches are heated and I actually melted my mouthpiece when I put my helmet down when we came out of the game. So it's just those little things that stand out. I thought that was bizarre. We picked up my helmet to go in our second drive of the game, and my mouthpiece was mush. So, uh, but yeah, I mean, it's just like playing in any other hostile environment. They have a lot of traditions and stuff, and they're going to be loud and rowdy, and it's going to be a good time. It's a fun place to play.
You tell your teammates don't put your mouthpiece on the
That's what I tell the offensive line. Be careful where you leave something because those benches actually get so hot that the time we played there 2 years ago it was pretty cold, and you get warmed up playing, and then you come off, and if you sit on the bench, it's worse than playing. I start sweating, and then you get up to play, and it freezes on you. And you actually get colder. So I remember I just didn't even sit on the bench last year or 2 years ago.
Being an offensive lineman going into a tough environment like that, it is going to be loud, but do you almost look forward to that atmosphere Thursday night, prime time, against an opponent like that?
Yeah, it's it's fun to play on Thursday. It's cool to like shake the schedule up and have an early week. It's definitely like everyone's going to be watching you, big televised game, and it's just road games are fun, especially big hostile environments. It's you definitely get the you against the world feeling, and that can be really good at bringing young teams together in the locker room. And so I look forward to the challenge, and we're ready to go.
How beneficial was that bye week? And now it's almost, after you get done playing, it's almost like another miniature bye week in between that, your next game.
Yeah, bye weeks are always huge. It's a great time to get back to basics and work on fundamentals, especially start if young guys have had to like be thrown into the mix, it's time for them to like kind of you come back and start help build that base up for them, because when you haven't had a couple of years of practice of doing the same drills over and over again, working the same technique, and you go out there and play, sometimes it's not always with up to coach's standards. So this is a great time to dial it back, make sure you're doing the basics and doing everything right from the ground up. And so bye weeks are always huge. Great to get a couple days rest, get your bodies feeling great, and we're ready to go.
How much does that help you guys as an offensive line that from the center to the right has been the same every game? The left side has been different almost every week, it seems like, to build some of that continuity that you really need between the five of you.
Yeah, it's great to kind of try and make the unit gel more as a whole, because we never want to separate this as like right side and left side or anything. It's just as an offensive line as a whole, as a unit, all 13 guys in the room. How can we make this the best unit on the team? How can we make sure we're doing our job? How can we rush for 200 yards a game and not let anyone touch the quarterback? It's what's the best combination of guys, all that stuff. But it's also how hard we practice. How, if you're working with the twos, how good of a look you're giving for the defense, and how much better you're getting each and every day.
Speaking of rushing for a lot of yards, I mean, Coach mentioned that y'all haven't been as effective as you want to be running the ball. Do you, as an O-line, do y'all take that personally, or as a challenge?
Yeah, it's very frustrating, because running the ball makes everything easier on offense, and in practice, it might be annoying. You might want to have more pass plays because they're usually you get less tired in the passing periods. But when you actually get out there in the game, I don't know what it is, but you want to run the ball, because running the ball takes the edge off of pass rush, and it opens things up in the play action game. And so it's incredibly frustrating to run the ball in first or second down and only get 1 or 2 yards, and then you're in a passing situation, and it just makes it that much harder to go backwards and block a guy running full speed at you. And so it's a huge emphasis every week for us. What can we do to get this thing going in the right direction and move the ball, run the ball. How can we be the best and most efficient offense we can be?
West Virginia runs a slightly different scheme from anybody else you play. What kind of challenges do they present?
Yeah, so the 3-3 stack is a interesting defense to scheme up. It's a lot of there's a huge emphasis on knowing the personnel that's in the game, knowing which guys you're going to on each and every play, because they do have a lot of guys in that linebacker type area with safeties walk down and stuff, and so it's a lot on player recognition and really knowing your role. That's why going into the bye week or coming out of the bye week into this game is huge, because we were able to take a little more time and identify like some of the specific looks we're going to be getting, and really hammer it in for some of our guys, like knowing your job to the T.
Is that a communication thing in game too? Like if you see
Uh,
guys coming down or
Yeah, it's always a communication thing when you see guys, walking down or possible pressure looks, but most of it is done before you even touch the field. Most of that work's all done in the meetings and stuff, and those are just, alerts and stuff need to be echoed down the line, especially if the call changes because we see something. But most of that work is done upstairs and not when you get on the field. You can't just rely on Tech, the center, to change the call because he sees everything.
I asked Coach this, you gave a compelling sound after the loss to Texas with how emotional and hard that loss was, being so close to winning it. But going into the bye week and having all this time to kind of have that bad taste in your mouth, is that more of a motivation going into Morgantown, or how does that play into your preparation for this week?
I think it's a delicate balance because you're driven to win any game, and one of the most important things I've learned in my time in Baylor is you have to be the same person every day. You can't be a guy that kind of coasts through the week and then thinks you're going to turn it on for the game and play well. You can't be too emotional because you'll just wear yourself out, and so that taste in the back of our mouths is really driving us as a team to go out there and attack practice, compete every day, to fight harder. But you can't just let one game be the thing that's motivating you or whatever. We all have our same motivations that we started this season with, and yeah, we've picked up a few more, and maybe some are more important than others now that pecking order has changed. But the important thing is about being the same person every day so that you can come out and get better consistently and not just have big maybe bursts of playing real hard and then you're wore out and then you're not thinking, if you haven't put in the proper work and training up to that point, you're not going to have anything to fall back on.
like same kind of thing with the running game? Do you take it personally when Charlie gets hit?
Yeah, that's our quarterback. It doesn't matter who's back there. If he gets hit, odds are someone didn't do their job, and it's just you don't like to see that guy. He's a fighter. He'll always sit in there, and maybe when he'll always fight to give you the best chance to win and get that ball out and make plays. And it's just you don't want to let someone who's out there doing it right, doing everything that he's asked of him more, and just let him get hit because you didn't watch enough tape, or because you didn't have the courage to take the right set and you freaked out at the last second and reverted back to something that we don't coach here. So it's very personal when that happens, and frustrating, and that's something as an offensive line we've got to fix. We've got to make it happen less.